This presentation will provide an overview of the graduation options and requirements for students receiving special education services in Austin ISD. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, special education services must be available to an eligible child or adult student until he or she graduates with a regular high school diploma or exceeds the age eligibility requirements for special education under state law, which is 21 in Texas. An adult student receiving special education services who is 21 years of age on September 1 of a school year is eligible for services through the end of that school year or until graduating and being awarded a regular high school diploma. The ARD Committee makes all decisions related to graduation for students receiving special education services. These decisions are based on the options available in the Texas Administrative Code 89-1070. Students who first entered the 9th grade prior to the 14-15 school year may graduate and receive a regular high school diploma under one of the following graduation plan options. A minimum graduation plan with a code of 30 requires that a student earn 22 credits with no modified content. The student must pass EOCs, or the ARD Committee determines satisfactory performance on EOCs is not necessary for graduation. A recommended graduation plan with a code of 31 requires that a student earn 26 credits with no modified content. The student must pass EOCs or pass at least 3 EOCs if the student meets the requirements for an IGC. A distinguished graduation plan with a code of 32 requires that a student earn 26 credits with no modified content. The student must pass EOCs or pass at least 3 EOCs if the student meets the requirements for an IGC, and the student must complete 4 advanced measures as outlined in the Austin ISD Secondary School Information Guide. A student may graduate on an IEP graduation plan if the student has met requirements under the minimum graduation plan with 1 or more modified courses and has participated in all EOCs. The student graduating under this subsection must also successfully complete the student's IEP and meet one of the following conditions. Code 04. Consistent with the IEP, the student has obtained full-time employment based on the student's abilities and local employment opportunities, in addition to mastering sufficient self-help skills to enable the student to maintain the employment without direct and ongoing educational support of the local school district. Code 05. Consistent with the IEP, the student has demonstrated mastery of specific employability skills and self-help skills that do not require direct ongoing educational support of the local school district. Code 06. The student has access to services that are not within the legal responsibility of public education or employment or educational options for which the student has been prepared by the academic program. Code 07. The student no longer meets age eligibility requirements. Students who first entered 9th grade in school year 14-15 or later may graduate and receive a regular high school diploma under one of the following foundation graduation plan options. Option 1. A foundation graduation plan with a code of 34 requires that a student earn 22 credits with no modified content. The student must pass EOCs or pass at least 3 EOCs if the student meets the requirements for IGC. Option 2. A Foundation plus Endorsement Graduation Plan code of 34E requires that a student meet the requirements for the foundation plan, and additionally, the student must earn at least 26 credits to earn an endorsement specific to the requirements of the selected endorsement, complete the courses required for the endorsement without modified curriculum, and complete an endorsement declaration form. Option 3. A Foundation plus Endorsement plus Distinguished Level of Achievement Graduation Plan code of 34D requires that a student meet requirements for the Foundation plus Endorsement plan and a math to include Algebra 2. Option 4. A Foundation graduation plan with a code of 35 requires that a student earn 22 credits with no modified content, participate in the exit level assessment identified in the IEP, but the ARD committee determines satisfactory performance is not necessary for graduation. Option 5. A student may graduate on an IEP plan if the student has met requirements under the Foundation Graduation Plan with one or more modified courses and has participated in all EOCs. The student graduating under this subsection must also successfully complete his or her IEP and meet one of the following conditions. Code 54. Consistent with the IEP, the student has obtained full-time employment based on the student's abilities and local employment opportunities, in addition to mastering sufficient self-help skills to enable the student to maintain the employment without direct and ongoing educational support of the local school district. Code 55. Consistent with the IEP, the student has demonstrated mastery of specific employability skills and self-help skills that do not require direct, ongoing educational support of the local school district. Code 56. The student has access to services that are not within the legal responsibility of public education or employment or educational options for which the student has been prepared by the academic program. And Code 57. The student no longer meets age eligibility requirements. Option 6. In addition to meeting the requirements for codes 54, 55, or 56, a student may earn an endorsement if the student earns at least 26 credits to earn an endorsement specific to the requirements of the selected endorsement, completes the courses required for the endorsement without any modified curriculum, performs satisfactorily on the required EOCs, or passes at least 3 EOCs if eligible and meets requirements for IGC, and completes an endorsement declaration form. The graduation plan under these circumstances would be coded 54E, 55E, or 56E. If the student graduates with an IEP graduation code of 04, 05, 06, 54, 55, or 56, it is important to note the following information. A reevaluation is required prior to graduation as part of the student's summary of performance. After graduation, a student or the student's parent can request that an ARD committee evaluate the student's need for educational services. If the ARD committee determines that there is a need for educational services, the student may re-enroll to receive services as long as the student meets age eligibility requirements. A student who entered high school prior to the adoption of the Foundation Plan can transition to the Foundation Plan if he or she meets the following requirements. The ARD committee must determine the Foundation program is appropriate for the student. The student must meet the requirements of the Foundation Plan. And endorsements can be added if there is no modified content in the courses required for the endorsements. If the ARD committee determines that a student is unlikely to be able to complete the second credit of a LOTE after completion of the first credit, one of the following courses may serve as a substitute. Special topics in language and culture, world history studies or world geography studies for a student who is not required to complete both, another credit from LOTE, or computer programming languages. If the ARD committee determines that a student is unable to complete 2 credits in the same language in a language other than English, the student may substitute a combination of 2 credits from English language arts, math, science, or social studies, or 2 credits in career and technical education or technology applications for the LOTE credit requirements. If the ARD committee determines that a student is unable to participate in physical activity due to a disability or illness, the student may substitute an academic elective or a course that is offered for a credit as provided by the Texas Education Code for the physical education credit requirement. Students who do not pass all 5 EOCs may graduate if they pass 3 or more EOCs and have an individual graduation committee or IGC meeting. For special education students, the ARD committee serves as the IGC. Only students who are classified in grades 11 or 12 during the 14-15, 15-16, or 16-17 school years who have taken and had failed to achieve the end-of-course assessment performance requirements for graduation for not more than 2 courses are eligible for individual graduation committee review. Senate Bill 673, or Scooter's Law, allows students in special education who have participated in high school for 4 years but have not completed IEP requirements for graduation to participate in the graduation ceremony. The student shall receive a certificate of attendance but will not receive a diploma at this time. If the student participates in the graduation ceremony, the student must plan to return to complete the IEP requirements for graduation. A diploma will be awarded upon completion. The student does not have to be evaluated prior to participating in the ceremonies, but the evaluation requirement will be addressed prior to his or her official graduation. As an option, the student can wait to walk in the graduation ceremony once he or she officially graduates from high school and no longer receives special education services. For additional information, please visit the new special education website, accessible through the cloud, and click on the Graduation tab.